Hi, everybody. As we get closer to Independence Day this coming Saturday, I wonder how many times in the next few days you might hear the song that was made famous by Kate Smith back in the year 1938. You know the words well, I'm sure. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. Since 1938, something about that song has electrified the nation, and it has become one of the most popular and probably most patriotic songs in our country. There seems to be something in the text of this song that is an indication that we as Americans understand that we desperately need the blessings of God, and we certainly do. For as long as anyone can remember, we humans have attempted to domesticate God, to insist that God bless our nation's welfare and enhance our country. Ancient Israel thought they had God in their hip pocket. And don't we Americans sometimes imagine that God stands up just a bit straighter whenever Old Glory passes by, and maybe the angels sing a little more heartily when the band strikes up the Star-Spangled Banner? And yet, as the psalmist writes, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." And when the psalmist writes that, he's a long way from suggesting that God can be tamed and tethered to a single nation. For the psalmist goes on to write, "Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of God." In Genesis, God says to Abraham, "I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse." Might I suggest that the reason God blesses Abraham is so that he can then turn around and be a blessing to others? Nothing could be more clear. If God chooses to bless Israel, it is in order that Israel will reflect God's love to the nations. And is it not then fair to say that if God blesses America, and God certainly does, it is in order that America might be a conduit of that blessing to others? Nations are not singled out to be God's favorites, but to be God's allies, to be God's partners in this world, to do what God intends. In other words, we are blessed by God in order to be a blessing to others. At the time of the end of the Second World War, the world was still in a state of disorientation, having witnessed the deaths of tens of millions of people hoping to recover some of its humanity. Because of their leading role in the world, first in winning the war and then rebuilding peace, Americans were highly regarded. And Pope Pius XII sent a letter to this country expressing his admiration and his expectations for our country. Pope Pius XII writes, "The American people," he began, "have a genius for splendid and unselfish action, and into the hands of America God has placed the destinies of afflicted humanity. May the noble flame of brotherly love always be kindled in your hearts. Let it never be quenched by an unworthy, timid caution in the face of the needs of your brothers and sisters. Keep alive this flame. Increase it. Carry it wherever there be a groan of suffering, a lament of misery, a cry of pain, and nourish it evermore with the heat of a love drawn from the heart of the Redeemer." As one theologian put it, this is the kind of America we should strive to build. An America that walks humbly with the Lord, in charity and prayer, seeking truth, and hoping to live honorably enough to receive God's immeasurable blessings in order that those blessings might be spread from sea to shining sea. May God bless all of us in order that we may be a blessing to others.